Former reggae boy Paul Young displeased with the lack of local players in the senior Reggae Boyz squad. Welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. And we have an article we're going to read. Hopefully you guys listen and understand where the former reggae boy is coming from. And nobody run come bash him man already. Just spend the time and listen to him if you say. Then now I'm going to tell you my perspective on it, my personal perspective on it. But let's do the YouTube stuff. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're here for the first time, thoroughly appreciate it. So let me just jump onto the article. Article published in Nationwide Network by Winnie Walker. And it is stated, former reggae boy displeased with lack of local players in the squad. For those who don't know, Winnie Walker is one of the legends in the football journalism world, or sports journalism world in Jamaica. And he did an interview with the former reggae boys. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to also play an audio so you can hear that audio as well. So let's get it cracking. Former reggae boy Paul Young has expressed his displeasure at not seeing more local players named in the squad announced by coach Steve McClaren for the CONCACAF Nations League matches on September 6th and 10th. The national senior men's team will play Cuba at the National Stadium on September the 6th and away to Honduras 4 days later. Young, who represented Jamaica from 1989 to 1997, says this was a good opportunity to give local-based players international exposure. Before we start arguing, we have to understand who Paul Young is. So understanding who Paul Young is will give you a better understanding of where Paul Young is coming from. So for those who don't know, Paul Young is one of the reggae boys who came through the system, came through the ranking system, schoolboy football, the youth setup, then to the reggae, then in the Jamaica Premier League. I think he won it with yes, with Portmore. At that point in time, Portmore was when you can't put, I forgot that, man. Me forgot that. Yes, when Portmore back in the Hazard United. Jeez, how the heck? Me forgot that. Jeez. Sorry about that, people. Me don't know how me forgot that. Anyways, so because he comes through the system, he has definitely the mindset that, from his belief that he needs to see more players in setup. And it's quite unfortunate over the years, we're not seeing more local players embedded in our system. But there's a reason for that. One of the reasons is, the truth is, the local league still haven't reached the level where it can put out a local squad that will compete at certain competition or a certain level. It's just unfortunate, but you do have one and two local talents who people look at and say, you know what, they look ready, they look the part. That's the same players like the Cephas, with Justin Kine Dixon, Richard King, who have been a prominent name in the setup as well. And now we see the youngster in Adrian Reid getting a look in. But let's hear now what he has to say about the situation. So listen up to this, people. I'm going to play the audio. So I want to listen to it, yeah?
We're not developing the players from our home base. How many players in the squad now that are really were born in Jamaica? I think about maybe 8 or 9. But I just don't think we have exposing our players and giving them the right opportunity for the national senior team. If you look at the under 14 team that was on the other day, I think that most of the players born and live in Jamaica. And who to tell, maybe 2-3 years down the road, where are these players going to be? Because even though recruiting players under 15 from the States and from England to represent Jamaica. And nothing is wrong with that, but I just think that we're not developing our youth players, and there's not enough opportunity for them to excel, because as soon as they get to 20 and 21 years, 22, you don't hear from them again, because the players that are representing us right now, most of them are from England.
All right, so as I said, you have to understand where it's coming from. And he also said that where the recruitment is concerned, to make it clear, he also said that where the recruitment is concerned with getting the heritage players, nothing at all is wrong with that. So make that clear. I mean, know you got persons who come in and start cuss about it. No, but if you look at the squad, there is quite a few players, almost possible half of the squad are players who have come through the Jamaica system, who are born-bred Jamaicans. And for me personally, I think that's a hugely a positive sign in my perspective. Solely because it shows that the talent is here, but they just need that extra step for their further development. Let me just jump on the squad, so we can just give you the names of the players them coming through the ranking system, and also get the opportunity to take that extra step. So some would have gone abroad, some would have gone overseas, but they're back with us now, and you would have seen the result of that. So one of them, Andre Blake, Jamal Waite, Wells Damian Lowe, Richard King, Adrian Reed at 6, Shamar Nicholson, Norman Campbell, Kaim Dixon. Liam Bailey would have been a part of it. Unfortunately, he's not a part of it. But with the Liam Bailey addition, that would have been 9. That would have been 9 players. So basically, that's a huge portion of the squad. And most of these players, yes, they have been, these players that have been playing in Europe, in the big leagues in Europe. But just the 2 of them, in Richard King and Adrian Reed, are the 2 from the Jamaica Premier League. I know a lot of persons who have the same mindset that they'd love to see more players from the Jamaica Premier League being a part of the squad. But it's just unfortunate that you won't find a lot of players who really are punching above that level. No, people will say that, boy, they don't think Adrian Reed is punching above that level. But what they fail to understand, that Adrian Reed at 17 years old, to get the opportunity is a massive thing in itself. It must have meant that the coach sees something in this player and wants to push this player, because specifically the position that he plays, a CDM position, a role, a position that we suffered from for many, many years. So it's obvious that the route to the senior setup for most of the local players coming from the Jamaica Premier League is perform well in the Jamaica Premier League, hopefully the opportunity come knocking. Then now when you travel go overseas to possible reputable clubs and start performing well, then now we see you back in the national setup. So that looks to be the route. Nothing at all is wrong with that. That would have meant that you prove yourself here, gone overseas, prove yourself in some sense, and then you can become a favorable pick in the setup based on the fact that you have proven yourself on multiple occasions. Now let me go play the next audio. So listening for the next audio, people.
2002, we didn't make the World Cup. 2006, same thing. 2010, same thing. We keep on including them over and over. Last 6 qualifications, we were overwhelmed with English-based players. I'm not saying that they're not good enough, but if you're going to bring them and you're going to trust in them for the cycle over and over. Now, 6 times we have failed to qualify. Why are we going back to that model if it's not working?
Now, basically saying that the formula to use large international base players has not worked. Now, that I probably can't say I not necessarily agree with it. I understand where it's coming from, because it lists the qualifications that we have been through that heavily involve the players of the English-based players or should I say like Mr. McClaren, that's the heritage players he said that the teams did not qualify for the World Cup, the previous set of World Cups, which in fact is true. But what it also did, and I think that this is the part where I say that this is my opinion on the matter, it improved the quality of the squad significantly. And each time the World Cup qualification gets harder, we are improving the squad tremendously by including the heritage players because of the quality that they are bringing to the team. Now, the main problem that we're having here is not necessarily quality of player, but quality of play. We don't have a structure, we don't have a particular system or style of play, and that is what is killing us. So it doesn't necessarily matter how much recruiting we do until we can fix that particular aspect of the team, then we might see some remnants of success or some aspect of success. So I see the points where it's coming from. I might not agree with some aspect, but I also have to understand why he's saying that. He listed the aspect of the failed campaigns by either coach or players not good enough. But now we have a more large base. Some of those years weren't so much heritage players in the squad. Not a lot of heritage players. But we have seen the squad fail. No, we have also seen the squad fail with at most a dominant local-based squad. So that's a big factor that he has to look into as well, where we have local-based players, JPA players, and we have seen a squad like that fail as well on multiple facets. U20, U50, whatever level it is, we have seen it fail. But what I do agree with him is that the developmental factor locally is something that we have to improve on to get the players at a certain level so that they can be effective. But the biggest point from this is, I have to say, is yes, I understand that he's saying that he is displeased with the amount of or the quantity of heritage players in the squad and no development taking place where the local players are concerned. But I also have to look at it and say we would have seen qualification with predominantly local-based players and still fail. So it's either. We fail with a lot of heritage players, and we fail with a lot of local-based players. So as I said, it's not necessarily the approach is a problem. The problem is how the team plays. And that's the reason why I think we have a bigger problem in how the team plays versus recruitment. And I think that we'd have seen it time and time again. We'd have seen countries like Honduras, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. A lot of these countries don't have a lot of international players. Many countries, they don't have a lot of international players playing in various top leagues like Jamaica. But when you see them on the pitch, you can definitely identify their brand of football and how they play. Very interesting talking point. Tell us what you think in the comment section, people. Smash like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys again. Until next time, MG Sports TV. Out. God bless. Boom. Big up on yourself, people.